For a split second, I thought that this was basically was definitely what's going to happen, and I thought it would basically that it really was. I thought that Yuki's sister was basically was going to die, and it's just to see what was basically was going to happen. Basically, was season one of Change of Soldier. I will definitely will say this. I definitely will say this. That I was not expecting this to basically to happen and basically stuff. And to particularly to be honest with you, I'm hoping we really do not see that. I hope I do not see basically in a way that Yuki's sister is definitely is going to die. I hope that really is not the case, because if that really is basically is the case, it'll be very very disappointing just to see her that she really actually is really actually is. Now, to be honest with you, I don't remember if there was any deaths basically in this anime, or particularly, or basically there really was, or basically personally there really was or not. And I'm just really just kind of like wondering if there really was any deaths or not. I think it's very rare that you basically see when it comes to basically when a fan service anime that does have a death and stuff like that basically in an anime. Sometimes that happens, sometimes that really definitely doesn't. And it really basically really definitely does. And it basically it shows more the growth of the area. If you take as instance for High School DxD, for example, DxD definitely does basically have some basic stuff has some depths, but I would definitely would say basically in the way of the very first episode where basically what's his name um I can't remember his name, but anyways he is the main protagonist. He is the main protagonist. Potentially became the Dragon King or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen the series, but anyways, he ends up meeting this girl, goes on a date with her, and then she ends up to being like the fallen angel, and then she kills him, and then she kills him again like two times, and then like Rios basically went after her, and then she killed her because causing inflicting damage to basically what she did to the MC to the MC. And to be honest with you, I would definitely would say that was the pretty much one of the most significant basically deaths based in High School DxD. Basically, in a way, it really has. It just really that was basically was shown basically from there, and just really actually was. It was just basically shown. I think that was the only death that I can only remember that only happened basically in High School DxD, because as I said before, as I said before, when it comes to basically fan service animes usually don't have really that much in a way basically of basically having deaths and stuff like that. It personally definitely really definitely doesn't. Sometimes it really does, and sometimes it really does, sometimes it really doesn't. It just really depends on the premises based on the anime that basically you watch. Sometimes the anime can be just more of a generic, just basically just fan service, basically like etchy, just basically just fan service and stuff like that. But when I see basically Yuki's sister, I really didn't want to see Yuki's sister really die. I didn't want to see any one of the characters to really die. But if Yuki's sister would basically would die, this definitely would give some personal growth to basically to the MC to Yuki. Now, in a way, could that personally basically could happen? That's really basically stuff to debate. If that really personally that could really basically give that basically that character development to basically Yuki, if that really personally would basically would happen. But I promise you one thing for sure: if that really did happen, then it would probably give very good strong development for a character for Yuki to really actually is, and to see that his sister basically passed away, and basically it's time for her to move on. Now, I do not know if her sister or basically some of the other characters that basically on her side, on Yuki's side, or I will say Oba, I definitely will say I'm not really 100% sure if they really are do definitely do carry on in season two. I don't want any spoilers, but I really want to say really want to say. I just not really basically so sure. Now, I also want to talk about also some of the other fights basically in the anime, basically episode 11. One thing I really definitely do like is basically the big, tall, giant girl, whatever her name is. She's the one with the blonde hair. She has the bow in her hair and stuff like that. She turns into a big giant girl. One thing I really liked about what she did that basically like, she got herself eaten and stuff like that. And basically what she did, she said like doing an S formation. Basically the S formation basically I don't know what the S formation really actually means or anything like that. But she just calls it basically a S formation. That's what she basically called it. And then she basically she kind of shrinked herself into a tiny size and into a tiny size like a little pea or something like that, like a little bean or something like that, a little pea, vegetables you eat your peas and stuff like that, you basically eat those and stuff like that. But anyways, the other girl who's basically Super Saiyan girl, I definitely would call her. But anyways, she threw into the monster's mouth, and then she kind of extended her body and basically destroyed basically the monster. However, the monster was not finished, was not dead, because I didn't think that it would definitely would happen because it basically really did not happen. So I definitely do think that seeing some of these characters that are very important basically in this aspect of this anime, I think the author based on this anime, or I would say based on the manga, pretty much don't want to let go of these characters. That's what I definitely think. That's what it feels to me. And that's what I definitely do see basically in the future basically going when it comes basically to this anime. But I also definitely want to say this also too. I also like one of my favorite fights is basically this anime, basically in this episode it's basically with the sisters, the basically the two sisters. They basically have the guns, stuff like that. And the other girl, she kind of reminds me of I can't remember her name. She kind of reminds me of from Data Life. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that she can freeze time and you can just shoot and stuff like that, rewind time and stuff like that. I definitely do like that. I love her abilities and stuff like that. But the problem is basically when using her abilities is that not in Data Life, but I'm talking about the other girl that she can rewind time and just go back or forward or back or anything like that. She can only use her time to base for limited precious base of time means that she has a cooldown based on her abilities, because if she uses it too much, she will not be able to basically to win the battle that she really actually is, that she would not. Now basically with the other girl, basically the other sister, basically like I find this is kind of funny to me, basically in my opinion, is that she transformed most of her hair into guns. I never seen that basically in an anime before. It like that in such a crazy way. I never have. I never have. Because I was very fascinated because of what she does. Because she can turn her body into objects of guns. That's basically her ability. That's basically what she can really basically can do. And I'm also kind of wondering what kind of unlimited resources that she definitely do has basically when it comes to basically using ammunition and stuff like that. That's one thing I'm also kind of like wondering also as well too, because that's basically what I definitely do think. But it was kind of wild and crazy because that she turned and transformed her hair into whole bunch of different guns and stuff like that. That is really crazy and stuff like that. I really don't like that look really all that much, but I kind of find it kind of funny. But this is basically in a way that she can use her full extent of her power. And basically, that's basically what I definitely think. Now, I've also want to say here also as well too, the divining gods is basically also plays a role based in this anime also as well too. But some of the members of basically of the demon force, they were thinking that they were personally that Yuki's sister and her companions were friends with the divining gods. However, that is personally is really not the case. It really is not. One thing I definitely want to give an early rating for this anime. I usually basically don't do this really all that often, but I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10, because the reason why I want to personally want to definitely want to say it here is that not seeing any character death spaces in this anime is not something. It's not something that, in a way, I don't want to see it. In a way, I definitely do, because it brings more character growth space to the anime, and it does bring some closure for that. It definitely does. If we don't really definitely don't see that, there's no point. Then there's no point to basically having that character develop based for those characters. That's just based on my opinion. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this anime review. Tell me what you guys think. You guys agree with, disagree with, what you guys overall thoughts based for the girl with the gun space on her hair and stuff like that, kind of like Medusa space kind of way. Um, what's your overall thoughts based off the episode? You guys liked it, disliked it, or you just didn't care for it? But yeah, anyways, it's not no sense. I'll see you guys there. Take care. Hope you guys will stay. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please like one, give me a thumbs up, or give me a thumbs up, and please leave a comment below. I love you guys. Take care. Hope it's all one day. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.